Prison conditions and privatization. Around the world, the prison population is growing at a rate too fast for prisons to make space or collect funds for, resulting in disgusting and inhumane living conditions, like prison overcrowding, where prisoners are stuffed into prisons and cells far beyond their holding capacity. Executives do this in order to save money with no regard for the prisoners they're harming. According to researchers, the number of prisoners exceeds official prison capacity in at least 114 countries. Rates of infectious disease, notably HIV, AIDS, and TB, are much higher in prisons than in the rest of the population in most countries. The overuse of solitary confinement as a form of long-term punishment, when it's really only meant for a very short period of time. The United States, for example, is estimated that right now that 80,000 individuals are being held in some form of isolation. This downfall of prison conditions began with the privatization of prisons, outsourcing them to for-profit companies when the state runs out of money. Prison privatization was outlawed in the very beginning of the 20th century, and somehow it's back again. In the late 1960s, the U.S. expanded its law enforcement reach and began to depend on incarceration to solve its social, political, economic, and mental health problems. In the mid-1980s, America's years of unprecedented prison growth soon drained our budgets, and with a still growing rate of arrests, no more money to spend, many turned to privatization to fund prison projects or to run the prisons themselves for about $30 to $60 per bed. Having a for-profit, private prison industry means that there are huge, wealthy corporations now around the world that make money off of longer, harsher prison sentences, even for arbitrary crimes like low-level drug offenses. Correctional corporations claim that they can run prisons more effectively and cheaper, doing a better job and saving the taxpayers money. Like any for-profit business, private prisons save money and maximize their own profit, which means cutting costs in every essential area: clothing, food, medical care, even security, endangering the prisoners, the workers, and the public all in one go. In fact, one company, the Geo Group, had in one prison only 2 officers to look after 256 prisoners. Thankfully, that particular prison was shut down due to the physical and sexual abuse that ran rampant there after its officers had allowed a cesspool of unconstitutional and inhuman acts and conditions to germinate. This goes against Article 5 of the Declaration of Human Rights. No one shall be subjected to torture or to cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment or punishment. In the short term, it is the prisoners that will be violated and dehumanized, but in the long term, the entirety of America will be affected. In running prisons like businesses, a demand for prisoners is developed. Private prisons have nothing to gain in reforming criminals. They make money on the comeback, manufacturing a system that's tough on crime and incredibly difficult to escape. In conclusion, running a prison like a business creates disgusting, inhumane living conditions and is a moral conflict with the concept of human rights. Having a for-profit private private oh my god for-profit private private for-private having a for-profit private private oh my god